Hey everybody, it's time to learn that holiday classic Jingle Bells. Now no doubt some of you may know how to play the melody with your right hand, right? We've all sat at a piano and tried to figure out. But it's going to sound so much better once we put the left hand and really give it with, play it with chords, right? Like this. Right? That sounds a lot richer, a lot fuller. So let me give you a quick performance of what it's going to sound like, and then we'll take it and break it apart piece by piece, measure by measure, and each hand, and see exactly what each hand is doing, right? So let's take a listen. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how great that sounds? And it's really easy to play, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's take a look at the right hand first. And now remember to pay attention that these notes have staccato marks. Now staccato marks are those little small dots you see on the bottom of certain notes. Now, not to be confused with a note that's been dotted, which the dot would appear to the right, increasing its rhythmic value. These are staccato marks that appear below the note. And if you remember, what a staccato marking does, instead of holding down a note, so in this case the first 3 E's that we're playing with our right hand, instead of going, which kind of sounds a little boring, we're actually going to flick our wrist and give it a really sharp attack. So it's staccato, staccato, and then we hold that 3rd E because it does not have the staccato marking. So we have staccato, staccato, and regular, staccato, staccato, and regular. And now we have 4 staccatos. That sounds a little strange when you're going slow, because staccato is generally reserved for quick tempos. So we'll make sure when we practice this and we play, our ultimate goal is to get a nice quick tempo for this. So instead of playing, we really want to get that feeling. So we'll take it, we'll find a little balance in between, so we don't take it too fast while we're practicing, but we also don't want to play too slow where we lose the effect of the staccato. So let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, short, short, long. Here we go, short, 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 long, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that we just reached the end of measure 8. So now we want to start one more time, and again, pay attention to the staccato. We'll increase the tempo ever so slightly just to really get the effect of this piece. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. See, it sounds really, it's just a really nice effect on the piano, that staccato sound, as opposed to which is legato playing. Now let's look at measures 9 through 16. These are the last 8, very similar, but there's just a little bit of difference in the last couple of measures. So let's try that together. Again, we'll do it in the mid-tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So see how I gave those? It's got that really cool sound and just really dry, and it's a nice quick release. So it's a slight lifting of the wrist. You don't want to come up too high, because then you run the risk of missing the note. But you just want to keep kind of flicking the wrist just a slight, maybe a half an inch or so, just to get that feeling. You don't want to move your arm. It's just a flick of the wrist. So now let's look at what the left hand is doing. We're gonna strip these chords. Instead of playing our typical C, E, G, what I've done here is really strip the chords to their bare minimum, so we don't get a muddy sound here in the bass. So in the first 4 measures, we see just our C with our pinky and our G with our thumb. This is measure 1, this is measure 2, this is measure 3, and finally measure 4, we see a couple of half note chords, right? We see our C, G for the first half, and then in measure 3, our thumb stays the same, but we're playing a B flat with the pinky. Now for all these that love theory, we're actually turning that from a C major to a C dominant 7th. And it's just a really cool sounding chord. And the reason we're doing that is because the next chord is our F chord. And we need, the C7 is a leading chord that takes us right into our F. So let's try the first 8 measures of this piece. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our first 8. So we see our C and G in measures 1 through 3. And then in measure 4 we see our C, G, followed by our G, B flat. Remember, C dominant 7th. Then in measure 5 we have our stripped down F chord. Measure 6 we have our C and G. Now measure 7 we have a very skinny version of a D minor chord, right? We're not playing the middle note, but we have our D and our A. And then finally in measure 8 we have our D and our G, giving us our G chord. And then now we're arriving at measure 9. Now 9 through 12 is just like measures 1 through 3. We have our C and G for measure 9, 10, and 11. And in measure 12 we see a duplicate of measure 4 where we add our B flat there with our pinky. And then finally in measure 13 we have our CA. Measure 14 we have our CG. And then measure 15 we have B with our pinky and G with our thumb. And then we finally end with C and G in measure 16. So let's try to put that together. We'll take a nice slow tempo in the beginning. And remember, I always encourage to separate the hands, make sure what each hand is doing. That way when you bring them together, you spend a lot less time like fussing through the chords and what each hand is doing, because each hand independently knows exactly what they should be doing. Okay, so now we know exactly what the right hand is doing and what the left hand is doing independently. So it's time to bring the hands together. Now we'll be doing 2 versions, and the reason for that is we're going to do one version at a slower tempo, and then I'll give you a reference of the proper tempo for the piece. Now again, one thing to keep in mind, I'll repeat it as many times as necessary. It is not important to play at first at a fast tempo. If you can play a piece at a slow tempo and everything is working correctly, you can keep cranking up the speed slowly and play as blazingly fast as you want, but it's much more important in the beginning. I know it's exciting to want to play fast, but you really want to lock down playing correctly at a slow tempo. So I want to give you both of those. So let's start with the slower tempo and play that. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. So make sure both hands are working correctly. You can count, you can follow the tempo that we're doing, and now we'll do a nice fun version at the regular tempo. So here we're actually going to count it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hope you had fun learning Jingle Bells. I know it's a lot of fun to play. It's very rewarding because the hands don't really, especially the left hand, doesn't really have far to go. So there's really not a lot of room to get lost in the hand positions. And the right hand, the lowest note you're playing is with your thumb on the C. The highest is the G with your pinky. So you do not have to be flying all over the keyboard. It's a nice fun tune. You're in time for the holidays. So I hope you enjoyed it and have fun. I'll see you at the next tune.